Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be an intriguing matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach. Well, with the Ohio River and the hills of Kentucky just to our right, we welcome you into Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it in the middle of the schedule. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down with a nice little gain. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Now Chubb running right. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Out of the gun, Watson. Dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 42.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a 1st down.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Now they return to the ground game. Chubb. And they'll get this down to the 10. 11 yards there. First down.
Let's go.
Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all this stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Let's go. And we got Mike, number 53.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb, his 11th touchdown of the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. Just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. He fights forward for a couple with a penalty flag down. And the linemen, they're already walking back. So on the big tight end, Holden.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college.
And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Danielle Hunter picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
They're going to try the jet sweep on 3rd and long. And the spin looked pretty, but more for style points as the real estate evaporated quickly there. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down.
Make no mistake about it, that's a really dangerous place to run that play. But the way that they're spreading the defense horizontally, you've got to think that as the game goes on, they'll find opportunities vertically downfield as well.
Pulled in at the 24. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football. On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson escaping the pressure right. And now he's going to use his legs.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a 1st down.
Here's Watson. Dumps this to his running back, Chubb. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. A run for Nick Chubb. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against his zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. Watson on 3rd down. Eluding the pressure right. He may try, and he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. Deshaun Watson, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
Oh, Davis from the top rope. I like it. And the conversion good. He's got it. So the lead swells to 16-0. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And out now, here come the Bengals. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it.
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for Browns TD. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot. Downfield, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Holding offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. To throw is Stafford. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Danielle Hunter able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Give the sack to Jerome Baker.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And where will this be spotted? The side judge says it went out just across midfield. Update now from a game going on in Pittsburgh. And the Bucs are out to an early lead. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Watson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. That's caught inside the 20. It's a big play there for the Browns. 41 yards. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now arguably the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Back in the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Flushed out right. He can run for it, and he will. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. They will indeed snap it to Watson. And this is caught. Amari Cooper. So the decision to go for it turns out to be a good one. They get a couple of yards, and as a result, the drive keeps moving. It's now 1st and goal. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Now it's Watson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor, in effect.
The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here.
And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They're going to try the jet sweep on 3rd and long. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Well, not a big gain with that play, but what they're doing is they're spreading the defense out, probing a little bit, and what they're hoping probably is that later in the game, they can create a matchup that they can exploit for big yardage later.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Browns drive about to get started. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. Well, I know we hold off on the halftime update after all. Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. This one taken just inside the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So here are the Browns to take over. They got the victory last week. That was against the Baltimore Ravens, and they have the lead here as well.
Check 53's line. I'm coming for it.
The third quarter starts with a run by Chubb. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he works free. A big play that time out of Chubb. 51 yards. Terrific run from one of the fastest backs in the game today. A guy who keeps defensive coordinators up at night, no doubt.
Remember when we were meeting with the D coordinator before the game, and all he talked about was run fits, making sure our guys were in the right place so there were no creases?
They missed their fits, didn't they?
Yeah, there was no fit there. The only fit was at the end when he threw his headset down after that big run.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Watson now to throw. Steps away to his left. He'll try and run it. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys continue to pour it on. And in the red zone, I guess this is why you have a guy like that on your roster.
Without a doubt, and if you have him, you use him, because he's a guy who's going to win just about every time. I don't care what the coverage is.
Just a 4-play drive that time, and it's capped off by the Browns' touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the...
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Danielle Hunter, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Danielle Hunter, make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. A good return there, 17 yards. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's coming together for you. The big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game. A give running right is Chubb. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Here we go.
Here's Watson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
A run there on first down, and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. They run it again with Williams. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 7 yards there and a first down.
Mike 56, Mike 56.
First down. First and 10.
Play action. Stafford. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. To throw again. Stafford. This is caught by Williams.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns 16. Henderson now on first and 10. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
Right there, 56. Target.
On second and 15 now. Stafford. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line. He's sacked. Jerome Baker able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down. Went backwards. And the pressure gets to him again. Daniil Hunter in there to get him. And on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Joseph on for the field goal. A 50-yard attempt. That's the end of the third quarter of play.
Back now in Cincinnati. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair.
Greg Joseph on for the field goal. A 50-yard attempt.
The kick by Joseph is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. He was trying to go back to Beckham there, but now it'll be third down. So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. From the 44, Stafford. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Well, this ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On 2nd and 7, Watson, he'll rifle this one deep, and that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in, touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there, 77 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game, defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game, and privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching, and he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Back to throw, Stafford. Cameron Meredith, the intended target. But it'll be 2nd down. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Throwing again, Stafford. This one hauled in by Sample. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devin White able to record his 5th sack of the season.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. The team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill it under a heavy rush. rush, and down he goes. Joe Schobert in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Carl Lawson in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? This is the tight end, Njoku. Well, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. He's got an open man. He completes it to Callaway. A big pickup there, 20 yards as they convert on 4th. And Watson's going to throw it here. That's out to Chubb, complete. Pushing through tacklers at the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 20 yards on both of those plays back-to-back there. They are moving now. It's another 1st down. Now Watson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense can crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
Out of the huddle now for play number 9 on this drive. This is 3rd down and 8. Watson off play action. That is caught right at the 10-yard line.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go. What's up? 19. Check 53. Let him go. Let him go.
Off of play action, it's Watson. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly...
Watson's pass complete to number 13, Odell Beckham. Touchdown, Denver.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. Oh, boy, rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, and played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us. And they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. Well, it could also result in a melee later, though. On 1st down at Stafford. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Come get some.
To throw again, Stafford. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. Tyler Boyd, the former Pitt Panther, was the target. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. One last throw here for Stafford. And this is dropped in incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one is gone, as time has run out on this ball game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Browns, they move back over 500 now at 4-3, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.